And we already reached maybe more than 2,000.
We started here as two groups, Turkish groups and Armenian groups. Now we turned into a single group. So there is no Turkish group or Armenian group right now, so we are all together.
The most valuable thing for me is cultural exchange, that I learned about two different cultures. I learned much about the USA and about Turkey.
In the first time in my life, I had Armenian friends, and we have some historical problems, you know. And but I was very positive at the beginning, and as I said, I was right, and I'm very happy to have real Armenian friends now.
What it's not about is solving complex historical and political problems that exist between the governments of two countries. That's not what it's about. What it is about is for two groups of teachers from two countries that have historically not communicated with each other to spend 6 weeks in a neutral environment, so to speak, working together to get to know one another. And as I said, for the barriers to be broken down to communication and for them to find ways to live and work together. So that's one goal. Obviously, improving their English themselves as English teachers is another one. For them to learn about the two cultures is another important goal. And for them to learn about American culture, because a part of what they teach when they teach language is they teach about the cultures that where these languages come from. And then finally, to think about different ways of being a teacher. What it means to teach, what schooling it represents, the kinds of things that are important for students to learn in a democracy, what it means to not only learn how to use a language, but the other kind of broader goals of education in a democracy has been a focus of the project.
We've been very pleased with how quickly the teachers from the two countries took it upon themselves to really cross some borders and work together. Now certainly we created some things over the course of the Institute to strongly encourage those type of interactions, but it's been heartening from the beginning to see them eating lunch together, participating in the cultural activities together. And so actually we were quite surprised. We thought that our first few weeks would be much more intentionally forcing the cross-cultural dialogue, and that's not what we found. We found them much more willing to do that.
I was really very excited to take part in the program, not as an English teacher, but as an Armenian person, as a citizen of the country that has got problems, serious problems with another country, neighboring country, which is Turkey. We must start communication. We must talk. We must exchange our thoughts. We must listen to each other.
The approach that we took, the fact that we're focusing on community-based learning, for example, or creating inquiry kinds of experiences for students, enables them to consider the kinds of things that they would do not only with their own classroom, but something that would be equally as interesting for students and teachers in the other country. So from the very beginning, they have worked toward figuring out what would make sense for them to do together. And we've structured it in many cases where we've kind of engineered the working groups so that they're equal representatives from both countries. So in a sense, they're forced to sit down and problem solve together, work together. And by learning together, I think it brings people together. They're confronted with common questions, common dilemmas, and then they have to figure out what to do about them. And that has been, I think, a huge factor, a very important one in their creating a sense of unity as a group.
I think that this course and whatever was done here is going to be continued. It is just the main thing that we are going to understand and to continue collaboration. I'm going to have my students also to become together with Turkish students as well. And I think it is a good point, and that it is going to work.